Heythrop Park. It is now showtime. It is our distinct honour and privilege to bring to you at this time a BAFTA-nominated entertainer and a recipient of the Gold Award from the British Academy of Composers and Songwriters. Please give a very warm welcome to the stage to the fantastic Richard Digance.
Thank you very much. Well, I've been practicing for an hour. Probably no bummers on this one. Good evening, all. Good evening. Oh, so word got around about the front row, did it? Right, I'm in. So, the Night Owls, eh? Well, first half went all right. They thought I was doing a documentary, but that's all right. I'd like to begin. First of all, it's nice to be part of your break here at Warner's. I do tons of Warner's, and I know exactly how to pitch it. There is a certain demographic. If you look at the average age, I know there's young and very, very old, but if you take the average age, we know what it is, don't we? Yeah. So, no kids, in other words. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by singing a song that is your autobiography, each and every one of you. Now, you probably never thought that anyone would write a book about you, but I have. And you need. All right? Yeah, don't give me one, I'm all right. Right, yeah, each and every one of you, this is your life story. How do I do this? Well, I'm going to take you back a long, long way because I am one of the senior members of this theatre, this audience, all of us. I'm one of the senior ones, so I can go back a long way. And I can tell you all about your birthdays, your Christmases, your holidays, whatever it may have been, you know, that have brought you as far as you've come to today. How do I do this? Well, it all began down the pub with my friend, and he said to me, what was your favourite sweets when you was a kid? Do you have a little ponder? Mine, sherbet lemons. Remember them? Of course you do. Now, the great thing about sherbet lemons is they're a good level of age because youngsters, even kids today, know what sherbet lemons are because you can still get them. But they don't have the same ones that we had because they're now individually wrapped for health reasons, like we were for 2 years. Yeah. They weren't individually wrapped when we were little, were they? No, they were loose, correct? Yes. But they weren't loose for long, were they? No, they used to gang up on you, didn't they? And they used to go, try and peel one of us off. And then you had to eat the bag as well because it had stuck on them. Am I actually telling you about your life? Probably, yeah. So, what happens is I give you just a list, that's all it is, a list of 200 things that I remember and hopefully you remember that take you back as far as you want to go, maybe happier times, I don't know. But 200. To get 100 of my 200, okay, you've got to be old enough to remember this. A million housewives every day pick up a tin of beans and say, beans, beans, beans. Good, breathe. To go back 5 years from there to this one here, people will drop out, obviously, younger people, they won't go far back as some of us, but try this one. The SO sign means happy motoring, the SO sign means happy motoring, SO sign means happy motoring, Good. Still with me? Yeah. Sure? Right. Now we come to a code. This code I use that is purely for old people. Like, people like me, don't panic, but just for old people. Young people, and you can tell whether you're young in the audience because you'll either get this or not. Here is the code. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. There will be some people, only a few, but there will be some people who go, what's that all about? Well, mind their own business, that's what I say. Yeah. Right, do you want to go back a bit further? Yeah. Okay. 1001 cleans a big, big carpet. Good. Now we're way back. We're now back to 200 remembers. If you remember this one, you'll probably get all of mine. But there's going to be a few dropouts, I'll just warn you of that, you know? But anyway, see how many remember this. We are the young I told you to be a dropout. Anyway, we get a move on, some of you aren't here long, are you? Now then, here is the list. It starts with fruit salads and blackjacks, yes? Yes. Okay, and if this wasn't your life, then I don't believe you. Here we go. There were fruit salads, blackjacks and marshmallow shrimps, juggies, bazookas and spangles and imps, kid in the class who spoke with a lisp, boxes of blocks on November the 5th. Saturday classified pig with the scores, dad checking his homes or weights in his drawers, knocked down ginger, banging on doors. Anyone remember love hearts? Yes. You with me? Yes. Knocked down ginger, do you remember that? Knocking on the door and running away? Yeah, it's called parcel force now, but it's the same. Tortoises sleeping in cupboards for months, catching your chicken pox, measles and mumps. Dennis the Menace and Corky the Cat, desperate Dan in his St. Gallen hat. Pineapple chunks, strawberry pips, kissing a girl who you love on the lips. Bottles of Tizer, all taking sips, washing up bowls full of tadpoles. Danger Man was terribly hip, like 77 Sunset Strip. No hiding place, Dixon too, Captain Pugwash and Mr. Magoo. Remember how his sight was short? Here's an insignificant thought. I got the fugitive, never got caught after all the years on the run. So that the barber could cut your hair, you sat on a plank on the arms of a chair. The barber said to the grown-up men, something you need for the coming weekend. A packet of 3 they usually said, which went completely over my head, till I got Jennifer Lawson in bed and I could have done with one then. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato more. There were palm toffees, Scooby-Doos, Reginald Bosun kept reading the news. Animals sounds of the rising sun, 5 minutes single at #1. Palm of violets, jamboree bags, round the bike sheds puffing and fags, flashy cars like E-type Jags. We only had a Cortina, down to the Army and Navy store, things that were worn in the Second World War. Duffel bags, duffel coats, idiot mittens with string round our throats. Sooty and sweet beyond the ken, the Michelin Man and Bill and Ben. Do you remember conkers when you made them hard in the oven? And there were fine saucers, licorice wood, William Tell and Robin Hood. The Dandy, the Beano, the Beezer as well, Bing Crosby going well on shell. Putting a tiger in your tank, watching tales on the riverbank. Rin Tin Tin, Lassie and Hank, and Papa and Lady Penelope. Being scared of catching the pox, hush puppies, Louie the socks, next door neighbours making a noise. What did you do with your dinky toys? Swizzled refreshers and cola cubes, remember when zoobs were good for your tubes? Girls in class developing boobs, see them if you was lucky. And there was Double Your Money with Monica Rose, the very first record of status quos. Radio Caroline, Tom Bum, Little Plum, your red skin chum. Colonel Mustard, the Reverend Green, whatever happened to Hope and Keene? Remember the ad for Ovaltine, sheriff's badges, snake bells. There were blind dates, roller skates, bachelor's, senior service and weights. San Marino they served at school, clothes you lost to the swimming pool. It was always a sock you managed to lose, even once you lost one of your shoes. Going home, breaking the news and getting the clip running here. Remember coloured elastic bands, Sunday afternoon at your nans. Nans were always as deaf as a post, old as a horse and as wide as a ghost. Always talking about the war, telling you what it was like to be poor. I couldn't wait to get out of the door, to jump in the air and shout bollocks. And there was Michael Miles, Provident checks. Remember those national health tie specs? Boys had brown, girls had pink. Remember those great big bottles of ink? Squints, splints, Murray mints, knackered lighters that needed flints. Waterloo sunset buying the kinks, going to work on an egg. Remember the horrible ad for tunes, wearing flares, pairs of looms. 5 stones we called them gobs, Lucy and Snudge, Saturday jobs. Third pint, bottles of milk, I spy books and acre milk. Thinking your hair was as smooth as silk when you covered it over with real cream. These are the things that I recall, things I remember from when I was small. You can think of your own ones and all, 'cause I have just give you 200. Of demographics. I'm going to take you back many years before any of us. The year was 1938, and it was a very special year in the world of sweets that I was talking about earlier, particularly love hearts. I don't know if you know, you probably don't, but love hearts began their lives in 1938. It just doesn't seem they were around that long, but yes, that's when they began. Swizzles made them in the Midlands, and I just want you to imagine that year, 1938, and a man called Arthur Stott, S-T-O-T-T, because he was given a job. Now imagine him, 1938, factory worker, flat cap, pipe, tash, cravat maybe, cardigan, football buttons, tartan slippers, and he's called into the boss's office, and the boss says, "Arthur, I've got a job for you." He went, "Yeah, what's that?" He said, "We're bringing out a new sweet called Love Hearts, and we want you to come up with the erotic messages." Now you know, now I've told you that, and by the way, it's totally true. Now you know that, you now know why nobody pulled with Love Hearts. Because those messages may well have been erotic in 1938, but when we got our hands on them, it wasn't at all. Hi chum was not erotic, was it? Nor was I like you, my fondest, juicy lips. Always wondered about that one, but it's worth. You know what I mean? We didn't stand a chance, did we? And you will never meet, ever, a couple who actually got together by swapping love hearts. It didn't happen. In years to come, well, things have changed. I don't know how many of you are single or partnered up or whatever. Nothing to do with me. But if there are anybody wondering, how can I find someone? Not necessarily in this room, but how can I find someone? Then now there's online dating, of course. And the world spins so quickly that I think that maybe in a year's time, maybe, there will even be shops where you can walk in and there'll be a line of people. And you can just pick one and go, "Hello, I'll have that one there." We all know that's not going to happen. And it's a shame because I've already got the name for the shop. Screwfix. But I was thinking, what about us lot? What about our age group? We want our own love hearts, don't we? At least so we stand a chance. Kids have got them now, they've got text me and email and LOL and all the other old language that none of us know. But we ain't got one. So I thought, it's time we did. And I'm the person, so here I am. These are adult love hearts for OAPs. Some of you might find this a little bit erotic, I'm just saying. So if you're with the person you love, don't let on, just leave it. Here is a special plan for every woman and man. Love is a thing that never dies, comes and takes you by surprise. Love can fire you when you're old, love can warm you when you're cold. How do the old ones let it show? How do the elderly let you know? Love hearts for the OAPs, in love they'll help you fall. Love hearts for the OAPs, sweets that say it all. When you cannot find the words to say, here's a blown your dreams away. Love hearts for the OAPs, different to the ones at school. Here they are, here are my suggestions. Leave your teeth in water. Cuddle me like your daughter. Make love to me, big boy, though you're probably much shorter. Best turn out the lights. Best take off your tights. And your Marks and Spencer sandals. Let me wobble your love handle. Love hearts for the OAPs, in love they'll help you fall. Love hearts for the OAPs, they're sweets that say it all. When you cannot find the words to say, here's a blown your dreams away. Love hearts for the OAPs, different to the ones at school. Anyone turned on yet? Let's kiss till matron comes. I love your gorgeous gums. Please take off your cardigan, it reminds me of my mum's. Breathe in, don't force it, while I undo your corset. Let the love bug bite us as I massage your arthritis. Love hearts for the OAPs, in love they'll help you fall. Love hearts for the OAPs, sweets that say it all. When you cannot find the words to say, here's a blown your dreams away. Love hearts for the OAPs, different to the ones at school. Tie me up in chains. Just threw that one in, really. Stroke my varicose veins. Let's get drunk on Ovaltine and rub rheumatic pains. I'll put out the bins if you let me stroke your chins. Let me see you rocking in suspenders, surgical stockings. Love hearts for the OAPs, in love they'll help you fall. Love hearts for the OAPs, sweets that say it all. When you cannot find the words to say, here's to blow your dreams away. Love hearts for the OAPs, different to the ones at school. When you cannot find the words to say, here's to blow your dreams away. Love hearts for the OAPs, they're different to the ones at school. Thank you very much. Be a little warners, I think, because I don't know about you, but I have a hunch that you're like me. None of us ever thought we would ever be sitting in a place as salubrious as this, did we? No. Last week in July, first week in August, I come from West Ham in the East End of London, and it was an exodus in those weeks, in the summer holidays, to go to a place called Jaywick Sands. Exactly. The best way I can describe J-Rick Sands is a shithole. Isn't it? It really is. But it's the only time I saw the sea. So it was special, you know. It was brown, but it was special. And anyway, during the lockdown, you know how phone calls got more difficult, didn't they? You alright? Yeah, I'm alright. You alright? Yeah, I'm alright. Been anywhere? No. You? No. Okay, speak soon, yeah. It was getting hard, wasn't it? And so I came up with a little game for my friends. And the game was, while you're on, question, who was the first person you ever saw do a live show? Mine was a comedian called Norman Wisdom. Or so I thought. Because I don't know how this happened. And as I don't know you, and you probably don't really know me, I just think this might be really hard to try and explain, but I'll try. A name came into my head from J-Rick Sands, because from the caravan site where we used to stay to the sea was a little tin hut, and that was the cabaret room, not quite to this level. And in that hut, a name came into my head, and it was only, you know, lockdown time, so it's a long time ago. I was only 5, maybe 6. The name of Val Duval, D-U-V-A-L. And please, I have no idea why it came into my head, because I'd never even thought of him from being 5 years old to what I am now. But it came in, a light bulb, Val Duval, and I thought, bloody hell, it wasn't Norman Wisdom. The first person I ever saw was Val Duval, and he was a magician. Now, I don't come from a show-busy family. My dad was a lorry driver. I'll tell you about him in a tick when we get singing. He was a lorry driver for Fords, and my mum was a cleaner for Treebor Mints in the East End. And so I certainly don't come from any salubrious showbiz family, you know. But something triggered about Val Duval. And of course, he was nothing. I googled him, and all it said was he's in the magic circle. He came from Ipswich, and that was it. That's all it said on Google. And I wanted to find out more. And he wasn't even famous. He was doing a tin hut, you know, a caravan site. But I wanted to write a song about him because I believe he was the person who brought me here tonight in front of you nice people. I know that sounds corny, but I genuinely think he was. And so I think he was worth a song, don't you? Yeah. So this is my tribute to the man who probably got me in front of you tonight. No one knows your name today. You're over 50 years away, but in my memory you will always be a forgotten man. But there again, no one knew your way back then, and so I tell the tale of magician Val Duval. As for fame and fortune, you missed out by a mile. You were at the bottom of that starry showbiz pile. In the front row there sat I, on that stage you stood so high. I still see you now, magician Val Duval. When I was 5 or maybe 6, I saw you do your magic tricks. 1955, in my head you come alive. I watched you with your sleight of hand. 10 yards from our caravan, I still see it clear, watching diamonds disappear. A London Palladium should have been your boast, not an old tin Nissen hut on the Essex coast. I still see, I don't know why, your velvet jacket and bow tie outside a Forsake gale as I watched Val Duval. Holidays were never Spain, just 2 weeks on an old steam train. Never distant lands, just 2 weeks at Jaywick sands. Lilos bobbing in the sea, having fish and chips for tea, and each night without fail, magician Val Duval. Watching every night was my dad's master plan. The old tin hut was warmer than our 3-berth caravan. The magic rings that fell apart, the disappearing Queen of Hearts, got us out of jail, so thank you Val Duval. The greatest show I ever saw, no dressing room, no stage door, but Val the mustard cut in that old tin hut. How often did I watch his show? 10 or 15, I don't know, maybe it was more. The greatest show I ever saw. Holidays were special to a kid of tender age. Holidays were magical when he took the stage. He never ever was a far, he never ever got too far, but thank you Val Duval, you're a big star now.